¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien. Muchas gracias. Okay, thank you for joining me, Jennifer, as I present our July 2025 budget for 2 gringos on the Gulf. I just want to mention before we get into it, and I'm sure I mentioned it before, but this budget is a representation of what we spent ourselves personally in the previous month. No two budgets are alike, and we don't expect you to believe that this is what you would pay while you were in Mexico. Everybody is unique. Our budget is what it is because of the lifestyle we choose. We know that our lifestyle is a little bit more expensive than what other people live here in Mexico, but that is our choice. We continue to do these budget videos because of the positive feedback that we get, but it's not meant to say, this is what you're going to spend in a month in Oaxaca City. It is saying, this is what we spent in a month in Oaxaca City. And you can take the pieces out of it that are going to apply to you and your lifestyle. Thank you so much. So let's get into the July budget. So rent is 13,000 pesos, and the peso seemed to gain, excuse me, the peso gained last month, so that's 689 US dollars, 954 Canadian dollars. Groceries, we spent 7,443 pesos, which is 394 US dollars, 546 Canadian dollars. I feel that's high, but then when I think about what we would spend in Canada, even 4 years ago when inflation was not as bad as it was, $500 in a month for groceries was probably a week's worth back home. So I really probably shouldn't complain about how much we spend on groceries. I have been going to the grocery store less, and I think that shows. Dining out was a whopping 8,243 pesos, or 436 US dollars, 605 Canadian dollars. I'm not gonna stress about that amount. We spent a lot on dining out and travel because it's July. It was the Guelaguetza festival. And there was things going on all month long, and I'm not going to complain about the amount that we spent because we had so much fun. It was probably a bargain. Gas, I did put gas in the car, so 800 pesos, 42 US dollars, and 59 Canadian dollars. We are taking a road trip coming up soon in the next budget, but we're not going so far, so I suspect that gas will last until we leave in a little over a month. Vet, 2,820 pesos, 150 US dollars, 207 Canadian dollars. That was simply on medicine. His medicines are quite expensive. Power bill, we did get a power bill. It was 332 pesos, which is 17 US dollars, 24 Canadian dollars, and that's for 2 months worth. Very reasonable here, but we do have an AC unit, but we're really not using it. And when we do use it, which is not every day, maybe once or twice a week, we're using the dry mode, which is more like a fan. It's not really an AC. It does cool it down in here, but it's also like a dehumidifier. And so I'm not even sure we've even turned the AC on, but it doesn't matter. Cell phone bills, 915 pesos for 2 cell phones, 48 US dollars, 67 Canadian dollars. Now, I want to point out, I'm not sure I've ever talked about this, or at least it's been probably a while if I did. Daryl has a cell phone plan. It comes with 10 gigs of data, which is a lot, and he frequently goes over. So this is why he has a plan, and this is why sorry, my elbow is clicking the mouse. Okay, so he's going over because he's running a YouTube channel. Most of you won't. So when I load my cell phone bill, it's 200 pesos and I get 2 or 3 gigs. I'm not using anywhere near that, but it expires. So you have to buy it every month. So after 30 days, if you haven't used your gigs, they're gone. That's 200 pesos a month. And that's going to be more than sufficient for most people who are not running a YouTube channel. Okay, moving on. Daryl had a massage. 500 pesos is what I contributed to it. The rest of it came out of his mad money. So that's 27 US dollars, 37 Canadian dollars. Personal grooming. $3,500 pesos, 185 US dollars, 257 Canadian dollars. That was all me. I got my hair done, colored, cut, styled, all that, and I actually got a treatment on it. I asked for a gloss. I'm not sure what I ended up with, but I'm quite happy with the results. My hair has not been this soft in decades. So I believe that, and a pedicure. So I believe the pedicure was 500 pesos. The hair all in was 2,900 pesos, and then plus tip. And I don't think I put the tip in here. So it was probably a little bit more than 3,500. And that's if I'm remembering it right. They wouldn't give me a receipt. So I took a picture of it, but I couldn't find it. Sorry. So you have to depend on my memory. Okay, so personal purchases, 1,419 pesos, which is 75 US dollars, 104 Canadian. They included, I bought new shoes. I had to throw out my runners because they hurt more than anything else. And then I replaced them. But I replaced them by buying them online from Amazon, and they didn't fit. So then I was using my hiking shoes, and I thought for sure my feet had grown, but I looked online and your feet do not grow. But with age, joints and bones kind of spread out. So yeah, they just didn't, they would hurt me like really bad. So I ended up buying new shoes. I bought a bedspread, which honestly we didn't need, but I really liked it. We had bought a Oaxaca bedspread when we were in Merida, and I still have it, and I still love it. So while we were here in Oaxaca, I wanted another one, just because we usually have a spare bedroom. So now we have 2 Oaxacan bedspreads. I spent 800 pesos on it, and it's nice. They're nice. They're made of cotton, and so they're really cool for the hot weather. And then besides that, some little souvenir mezcal cups, painted they're little fruit shells, skins that they turn into mezcal cups. They dry and whatnot. Okay, so that was personal purchases. Garbage was 500 pesos, 26 US dollars, 37 Canadian dollars. Excuse me. Laundry was 770 pesos, 41 US dollars, 56 Canadian dollars. So a little better than it has been. We've been doing less trips, but they're heavier bundles. So it's harder to cart it back and forth because it's probably a 15-minute walk. Travel. 2,331 pesos, 123 US dollars, 171 Canadian dollars. So we did a full day tour, and we did It included transportation, and we went to Monte Albán. I went to a mezcal plant, an artisanal mezcal plantation plant. I don't know what they call them. Anyways, went to one of those. And then we went to a workshop where they showed us albrijes. Albrijes is kind of like a very popular form of artwork in the area where they make carvings out of wood. And they're usually animals, but they're not typical. Like, for example, it would be not just a dog. It would be like a dog with wings or a dog with a horn or something like that. And then we also went to a black pottery workshop. We toured a convent, and we enjoyed a buffet lunch. As well included in the travel is we went to ballet folklorico, which is called Donahi, and it's about a Zapotec princess from long ago who sacrificed herself for her people and for peace. And I wouldn't, they called it ballet folklorico, but I would not. It looked more like lyrical, what we would consider lyrical, I think. I mean, I'm not in the world of dance, but so that's a rough take on it from not a dancer, like at all. Okay, and then the mezcal entrance fee, which was only 75 pesos each. The mezcal tour or mezcal fair already dropped, so be sure to check out that video. Okay, so then some prescriptions. We bought 532 pesos, 28 US dollars, 39 Canadian dollars. Amazon purchases, 363 pesos, 19 US dollars, 27 Canadian dollars. And that was a birthday gift for Jorgito. I got him a Connect 4 game. And then some extras. We sent Big Jorge some money, 1,500 pesos, $80 US, 110 Canadian, for his birthday to do with as he wishes. I think they normally take the family out for a dinner when we do that. And then we bought some gifts to take back with us when we go. On our way to Cancun, we're stopping in Merida for a few days. So we bought some gifts for friends that we have there. So that was a total of 2,150 pesos, 114 US dollars, 158 Canadian dollars. And that brings us to the end of our budget. Total spent of 48,618 pesos, 2,577 US dollars, 3,568 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much for sticking around through my fumblings and mumblings. We appreciate you being here. Hasta luego. Hasta la próxima vez. Adiós.